Perhaps when it comes to Houthi ideology, the ideology is so multi-layered that it's difficult to reduce it to a religious ideology. So what I was saying before, I think it's quite accurate. A number of people in northern Yemen are supporting the Houthis because of their political ideology, because of the way they are framing their anti-imperialist narrative, because of the way they are opposing what they call the aggression. And this is one level. On this level, the Houthis are basically a populist movement with some political goals that are shared by other populist movements across the globe, like curbing corruption. And this is one thing. And the public discourse of the Houthis very often is focused only on this political narrative. So they talk about the aggression, they refer to the Jews and the Christians and the infidels, but also within this broader framework of opposing the US and Israel. And this is one thing, this is a public discourse. But then you also have an esoteric discourse within the Houthi movement. And that esoteric discourse, at times, it's almost a takfiri discourse. I've observed during the years the Houthis considering other Muslims as kuffar, infidels, just because, for instance, they are not praying the way the Zaidi believers are praying in northern Yemen. And this is something that is shared by the hardliners or the extremists within the Houthi movement. It's not shared by all the people who are supporting the Houthis. And this is because a number of people are just supporting the Houthis because of their political ideology. Very often, the connection between the Houthis and 12er Shia is emphasized. And I think this could be somehow misleading because several religious principles that the Houthis are trying to enforce in northern Yemen right now, and that are rightly considered repressive by the population, are not necessarily linked with 12er Shia. And there's quite a lot of propaganda going on that side, while instead, for instance, forbidding music during the weddings, insulting the companions of the Prophet, the Sahaba, or for instance, the norms and the restrictions on gender mixing, they are not necessarily linked with the 12er Shia, but they are in a sense indigenous also to a certain trend of the Zaidi school. This said, we are observing right now that the Houthis are trying to strengthen the religious side of their ideology on the internal side. And of course, a clash with the Salafis or with the Islah could emphasize these religious aspects. It's easy to remember that even back in 2012, 2013, 2014, they advanced from the north with the excuse of fighting Sunni extremism. And so during that period, they also emphasized this kind of religious narrative.